But I think laying the foundation for this is what we have to do to compete at a championship level. Yeah. Like this is why home court matters. This is why you can't have off. This is why we can't be 11th in the league in defense, right? Like we got to get to at least middle of the pack. You know, all of those different things. And so as a competitor, it's exciting.
Did you hear what Stephanie White just said about Caitlin Clark? It's not what anyone expected. The Indiana Fever's new head coach dropped a major revelation in her latest interview, and it's got everyone buzzing.
It's exciting to coach generational talents, you know, and that outweighs the other stuff that we might have to.
White didn't just praise Clark. She revealed something that could change the landscape of the entire WNBA. Are you ready to hear the truth about the league's newest superstar? And here's the twist. Stephanie White has known Caitlin Clark since her middle school days. But that's not all. Another coach joined the conversation and shared a story about Clark that you won't believe. Let's dive in.
Do I think it's going to be a seamless transition? No. I mean, it's going to take some time. And just like any young team, I mean, you don't get back-to-back #1 picks by being really talented early, right? Just like any young team, it's going to take some time. You know, and it's we got to put some pieces together, and we've got to continue to build. So managing expectations is going to be important.
Picture this, a packed gym buzzing with excitement. The atmosphere is electric. On the court, a young player is dribbling circles around her opponents. In the stands sits Stephanie White, watching with laser focus. That young player? An 8th grade Caitlin Clark. Can you imagine? Even at such a young age, Clark was showcasing skills far beyond her years.
I started watching Caitlin Clark when she was in the 8th grade, when I was at Vanderbilt. And then I called a lot of her games in college when she was at Iowa. And so I've really watched her continue to learn and grow, and I have great relationships with her college coaches and had multiple conversations with them throughout the course of her career about what the next steps would be, right, and what the next level would be.
White wasn't just a casual observer that day. She had a front-row seat to what would become a legendary career. 4 years, White has followed Clark's journey, from middle school prodigy to college sensation. But it wasn't just about watching. White was studying, analyzing, and even dreaming about what it would be like to coach this extraordinary talent someday.
Caitlin isn't just great for women's basketball. She is great for the entire game. She's more than just points.
She absolutely is. I mean, let's not forget, this is a young woman who led the nation in assists as well. She's accomplished records that haven't ever been accomplished in the sport of collegiate basketball.
Fast forward to today, and White's dream may soon become a reality. She's not only talking about Clark's talent, she's revealing how years of closely observing her have shaped White's understanding of her game. It's almost as if White has been preparing for this moment her entire coaching career.
You know, I'm looking forward to, when you think about Caitlin Clark and a generational talent, and, you know, the sometimes overlooked Kelsey Mitchell, who has been like one of the hardest workers that I've ever seen from the time I was covering her at Big Ten Network, watching her at Ohio State. And then Aaliyah Boston, who, you know, prior to Caitlin Clark coming on the scene, was another generational talent and is, right? Like, so it's like you think about the pieces that we have and putting that all together.
When White speaks about Clark, it's clear she views her as more than just a basketball player. To White, Clark is a cultural phenomenon, a once-in-a-lifetime talent who transcends the sport. This is such an exciting time for women's basketball, White said in her interview. I'm so grateful to be part of it. White's excitement is impossible to miss. It's as if she knows she's standing on the brink of something monumental.
Number one for Caitlin, that I can be a resource. You know, I didn't have the same stuff that she has on a global scale. You know, thankfully we didn't have social media at the time, which amplifies everything. But I've been through it on a smaller scale, and so hopefully I can help her navigate, you know, some of the extra stuff, while pushing her to be her best and challenging her to step outside of her comfort zone on the floor.
But this isn't just about Caitlin Clark. White's comments give us a glimpse into the future of the Fever. She's thrilled about Clark, yes, but she's equally excited about the team they're building around her. Listening to White talk about the upcoming season, you can practically feel the anticipation in her voice.
The advantage of I was an opponent, right? And so scouting her and this is what we try to do to make you uncomfortable. This is how we game planned for you. And again, being that straight shooter, like, okay, like these are the areas that we need to improve. You know, and putting those pieces together while also thinking about the holistic version of this team that we have, who is incredibly gifted on the offensive end of the floor. You know, offense is what I love. And so trying to think about all these things that we can do.
White's long-standing connection to Clark isn't just a fun fact, it's a competitive advantage. She knows Clark's strengths, weaknesses, and untapped potential better than most. Over the years, she's seen Clark face challenges, adapt, and come out stronger. This depth of understanding isn't something you can teach. It comes from years of close observation and respect for the player.
We had a staff meeting a couple of weeks ago in Indy, and it was like, guys, we got to scale it back. We're not going to be able to do all of this in year one. We're not going to be able to do all of this in training camp. Like, we're going to be able to. So staying ahead of the curve and watching all of these, NBA games and EuroLeague games and thinking about the things that we can do is really exciting to me.
Let's rewind to Caitlin Clark's college days, when she was dominating the NCAA. Stephanie White wasn't just a commentator at her games. She was one of the few people who truly understood what made Clark exceptional. While most people focused on her scoring and highlight reel plays, White noticed the little things that set her apart. She marveled at Clark's court vision, her basketball IQ, and her ability to elevate her teammates. During one broadcast, White famously said, "She reads the game better than other stars." That kind of insight isn't just praise, it's recognition of what makes Clark a generational talent.
Clark is just at the epitome of the intersection of social media, of pop culture, and fan engagement in a way that we've never seen, and she's moving the needle forward for all athletes.
When Clark entered the WNBA, the hype was enormous, but so was the pressure. After dropping her first 2 games, critics were quick to question whether she could handle the transition. But White stood firmly in her corner. She reminded everyone that even the greatest players need time to adjust. Her unwavering support was a testament to her belief in Clark's ability to thrive at the highest level.
Looking at all these things that people are talking about with Caitlin Clark, it's like, guys, chill out. Like, she's gonna be fine. Like, it's 2 games in, are you kidding me? She's a student of the game, she got better every year. You're not going to just absorb all of the new information that's coming at you in 2 games, in 2 weeks. It takes time. And she will. I have no doubt about it. She's a student of the game. She continues to get better. And these are also points that coaches then address. Hey, let's continue to work on this.
Now imagine this. Stephanie White coaching against Caitlin Clark in the playoffs. You'd expect her to focus solely on stopping Clark, right? Wrong. Even then, White couldn't hide her excitement about what the future held for the Fever. It's as if she already knew they were on the cusp of something incredible.
Exciting. Certainly I was born and raised in Indiana, and so have a lot of pride in Indiana basketball, and a lot of pride in the Fever organization, being a player and a coach there. And it's exciting what's happening with the organization and where they are. I mean, most organizations have their ups and downs, certainly. But I'm proud of the growth of the Indiana Fever. Excited, about the future of the Indiana Fever.
And then came the moment everyone had been waiting for. Stephanie White was named the head coach of the Indiana Fever. Who did she call first? None other than Caitlin Clark. Just picture that conversation. White later shared, "I spoke with Caitlin last night, and the excitement is real. That's more than just a coach talking to a player. It's 2 people who know they're about to embark on something truly special."
What's your approach when you're coaching greatness like that?
Yeah, I think first and foremost, just talking basketball, right? Just having general basketball conversations about what she's watching, what she likes, what are some of the things that what are some of her thoughts from, not just what the Indiana Fever have done, but from the game of basketball in general.
White's coaching philosophy isn't just about winning games. It's about building legacies and maximizing the potential of her players. Speaking about her new role, White said, "This is the moment we've been waiting for. How excitement isn't just about the present, it's about the future." She knows she has all the pieces to create something extraordinary, both for Clark and the Fever as a whole.
And let me tell you, so this is crazy. So it's the end of, I don't know, maybe a quarter or half, I'm not sure which, but we were going to take a foul on her, right? And so Caitlin Clark brings it over, and she brings it over close to where Katie Gerald is, and we were going to tell Jayla Smith to foul. And so he said, "I'll tell you when." And so you can see Caitlin hear that.
Yeah.
Let's go back to one of Caitlin Clark's most unforgettable college games, Iowa versus Purdue. The stakes were high, and the pressure was mounting. Purdue's head coach, Kelly Kamara, believed she had devised the perfect plan to neutralize Clark. The strategy? Foul her before she could even attempt a shot. Simple, right?
Now, Jayla Smith goes to foul. She throws it up.
Nope.
Turns around. goes in.
Yep.
It freaking goes in, and she didn't even see it. And then she starts going, and one. I'm like, oh my God.
But here's the thing. When you're dealing with a player like Caitlin Clark, simple plans rarely work. Clark thrives in high-pressure situations. She's not just a scorer. She's a thinker, a leader, and someone who always seems to stay one step ahead of her opponents. Moments like these are a testament to why she's regarded as one of the most exciting players in basketball today. Caitlin Clark has a knack for delivering the impossible. During a game against Purdue, she demonstrated once again why she's one of a kind. With her sharp court awareness, Clark overheard Purdue's coach plotting a foul. As Purdue's Jayla Smith closed in, Clark did something jaw-dropping. She threw up a shot, turned away before it even went in, and swish, the ball went through the hoop without her even looking. The crowd erupted, stunned by what they had just witnessed. But here's the twist. The shot didn't count because the foul was called before Clark released the ball. Even so, the play showcased her instincts, confidence, and ability to create magic on the court. Reflecting on the moment, Purdue's coach could only laugh and marvel at Clark's brilliance. Stopping her is like trying to catch lightning in a bottle, he admitted. This wasn't just a highlight reel moment. It was a statement of who Caitlin Clark is, a player who turns the impossible into reality. The Indiana Fever are making waves in the WNBA with a bold new direction, and Caitlin Clark is at the heart of it. After years of struggling, the Fever's front office is taking huge steps to transform the team. Kelly Kroskopf, the architect of Indiana's 2012 championship team, is back as team president. Joining her is Amber Cox, the new GM known for her talent-spotting expertise and deep understanding of the game. Together, they are building a foundation for success, but the Fever didn't stop there. They brought back Stephanie White as head coach. White has a clear vision. She's not just aiming for short-term wins, but is focused on creating a championship culture. At the core of her plan is Caitlin Clark, whom she sees as more than just a star player. White envisions Clark as the centerpiece of a team that could dominate the league for years. White isn't just betting on Clark. She's building a team around her. She talks about forming a three-headed monster featuring Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, and Kelsey Mitchell Boston. The top pick in the 2023 draft, is already making a name for herself as a two-time All-Star. Pairing her with Clark creates a duo that could redefine what's possible in the WNBA. Mitchell, coming off her best season, is another key piece. With Clark running the offense, Mitchell's scoring ability could reach new heights. Add to that veteran players like Lex